BRICS has unveiled bold plans for 2025 focused on de-dollarization. This initiative aims to reduce reliance on the United States dollar in international trade, potentially reshaping global financial dynamics, with new members like Iran and the United Arab Emirates joining the bloc. BRICS is set to enhance economic sovereignty and challenge Western dominance. Could this be the dawn of a new era in global finance? Let's explore. Chapter 1. The concept of de-dollarization. So, what exactly is de-dollarization? In simple terms, it refers to reducing reliance on the United States dollar in international trade and finance. For decades, the dollar has been the dominant currency in global transactions, accounting for approximately 80% of all international trade. This dominance gives the United States significant economic power, allowing it to influence global markets and impose sanctions with relative ease. However, as emerging economies like those in BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa continue to grow and assert their influence, there's a strong push to shift away from this dollar-centric system. Countries within BRICS are increasingly looking for ways to enhance their economic sovereignty and reduce their vulnerability to United States economic policies. One of the main motivations behind de-dollarization is the desire to mitigate risks associated with United States sanctions. Countries that rely heavily on the dollar can find themselves at the mercy of United States foreign policy decisions. For example, if a country is sanctioned by the United States, its access to dollar-denominated transactions can be severely restricted, crippling its economy. By using their currencies for trade, these nations can protect themselves from such external pressures. Additionally, de-dollarization offers an opportunity for more equitable trade relationships among BRICS members. Think of trading directly in rupees, rubles, or renminbi instead of converting everything into dollars first. Chapter 2. Key goals for 2025. Now that we understand de-dollarization, let's explore BRICS key goals for 2025. Brazil is set to take over the presidency of BRICS in January 2025, and they have some ambitious plans. One of their main objectives is to reform the international monetary system, a significant undertaking that could reshape global finance. A crucial part of this agenda is promoting trade using local currencies among BRICS nations. Instead of relying on the United States dollar as an intermediary currency for transactions, countries can trade directly using their currencies. For example, India could buy Brazilian soybeans in rupees instead of dollars. This not only simplifies transactions, but also reduces costs associated with currency conversion. To facilitate this shift, BRICS is working on establishing a cross-border payment system designed to support local currency transactions. This system aims to make it easier for businesses in member countries to conduct trade without needing to convert everything into dollars first. Think how smoother international trade could be if local currencies were the norm. This would significantly lower transaction costs and increase efficiency in cross-border commerce. Additionally, there's talk about creating a new grain exchange focused on agricultural commodities. This initiative is designed to enhance food security among member nations while further reducing reliance on the dollar. By trading agricultural products directly in local currencies, BRICS countries can support each other economically and build stronger ties. If BRICS can successfully implement these goals by 2025, we could see a significant shift in global trade dynamics. It's not just about economics, it's about reshaping power structures in international relations. With these initiatives, BRICS aims not only to challenge the dominance of the United States dollar, but also to create a more balanced and multipolar world economy. Chapter 3. Strategic Initiatives Announced. Let's dive into one of the most exciting proposals from BRICS: the cross-border payment system. This system is designed to allow transactions in member countries' local currencies, which is a game-changer for international trade. For years, countries have relied heavily on the United States dollar, but this initiative aims to change that. Envision being able to trade directly in your currency, no longer worrying about conversion rates or extra fees. This payment system will enhance economic cooperation among BRICS nations and streamline trade processes. It could potentially lower transaction costs and make cross-border commerce much more efficient. The goal here is to create a seamless platform where businesses can transact without the hassle of converting everything into dollars. This not only promotes financial independence, but also shields member countries from external pressures, like sanctions or fluctuations in the dollar's value. It's all about building stronger economic ties within the bloc. Now, let's talk about another exciting initiative, the BRICS Grain Exchange. This trading platform focuses on agricultural commodities and aims to enhance food security among member nations while reducing reliance on the dollar for agricultural trade. Driven primarily by Russia, this exchange will facilitate trading in staple crops like wheat, rice, and maize. Chapter 4. Challenges ahead, now. While these initiatives sound fantastic, there are some significant challenges ahead. One of the biggest hurdles is the entrenched role of the United States dollar in global finance. The dollar has been the dominant currency for decades, serving as the primary reserve currency for many countries. This dominance creates substantial barriers for BRICS as they try to establish alternatives. Transitioning to a local currency-based system isn't just a walk in the park. It requires extensive coordination among member nations. Each country has different economic interests and levels of financial infrastructure development. The real challenge lies in convincing businesses and governments to adopt these new systems instead of sticking with what they know. The dollar. Another major challenge is the economic disparities among BRICS countries. Some nations, like Russia and Brazil, are major exporters of agricultural products, while others may be significant importers. This diversity complicates consensus building on initiatives like the grain exchange because each country has its priorities and concerns regarding trade policies. Chapter 5. Potential impacts on global trade. Let's talk about the potential impacts of de-dollarization on global trade. If BRICS nations successfully shift away from the United States dollar, we could see a major shift in trade dynamics, especially in the oil and commodities markets. For decades, oil has been traded predominantly in dollars, creating a consistent demand for the currency. But what if countries like Russia start selling oil in their currencies or alternatives like the yuan? That could change everything. Contemplate a world where oil is traded in rubles, yuan, or gold-backed currencies instead of dollars. This would not only reduce the dollar's dominance, but also empower countries to engage in trade on their terms. BRICS nations account for about 30% of global oil production, so their collective actions could shake things up. If they successfully implement local currency transactions for oil, it might encourage other producers to jump on board, further diminishing the dollar's status. But it's not just about oil. This shift could enhance emerging market resilience by providing alternatives to Western financial systems. Countries that have relied heavily on the dollar may find new opportunities to trade without being subjected to United States sanctions or economic pressures. This newfound independence can empower emerging economies to build trade networks that better reflect their interests. Chapter 6. Technological innovations. Now, let's dive into some technological innovations that could play a big role in this transformation. One of the most exciting developments is the rise of central bank digital currencies. These digital currencies can facilitate local currency transactions within BRICS nations, making it easier for countries to trade without relying on the dollar. Think up. Brazil rolls out a digital real, and India adopts a digital rupee. Businesses can then transact directly using these currencies. No more currency conversion headaches. This not only simplifies trade, but also boosts financial sovereignty for member countries. And here's where it gets even cooler. Blockchain technology can support a new financial infrastructure for BRICS nations. By leveraging blockchain, BRICS can create transparent and secure platforms for conducting transactions. This tech helps reduce fraud, enhances trust among trading partners, and speeds up transactions. if all trade agreements were recorded on a blockchain ledger accessible to everyone involved. That would ensure transparency and accountability while minimizing disputes over transactions. Plus, with smart contracts on the blockchain, agreements could automatically execute once certain conditions are met. Talk about streamlining processes. As BRICS continues to explore these technological innovations alongside their de-dollarization efforts, they're setting themselves up to create a more resilient and independent economic framework. The combination of local currencies and cutting-edge technologies like central bank digital currencies and blockchain could reshape global trade dynamics. Chapter 7: The Future of BRICS and Global Economics. Let's take a moment to think of what a successful de-dollarization effort could mean for BRICS and its role in global governance. If BRICS nations reduce their reliance on the United States dollar, they could fundamentally reshape the global financial system. This would position BRICS as a serious counterweight to Western-dominated institutions like the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and even the G7. By promoting trade in local currencies and creating alternatives to dollar-based systems, BRICS could empower developing nations and emerging economies to have a stronger voice in global decision-making. A successful de-dollarization effort could also lead to the establishment of a multipolar financial system, where no single currency dominates. This would create more balance in global economics, reducing vulnerabilities for countries that often face sanctions or economic instability due to their dependence on the dollar. For example, nations like Iran and Russia, heavily sanctioned by the West, could benefit significantly from such a shift. Plus, this would give BRICS greater influence in multilateral organizations, pushing for reforms that better represent the interests of the Global South. Now let's talk about expansion. BRICS has already grown significantly with the inclusion of countries like Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, and the United Arab Emirates in 2024. Together, these nations account for over 36% of global gross domestic product and nearly half of the world's population. But here's where it gets interesting. There's a long list of other countries expressing interest in joining. We're talking about nations like Turkey and Venezuela, and even smaller economies like Thailand and Bangladesh. If BRICS continues to expand, it could strengthen its collective bargaining power on key issues like energy markets, trade policies, and infrastructure development. However, the expansion also comes with challenges. Differing priorities among members, like rivalries between Saudi Arabia and Iran, could complicate decision-making. But if managed carefully, this growth could make BRICS one of the most influential blocs in the world. Now it's your turn. What do you think about BRICS's push for de-dollarization? Could this change the global financial system? And how do you feel about its expansion? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. And don't forget to like this video if you find it insightful and subscribe for more deep dives into global economics.